You saw the villain here, where it looks like he's got some voodoo powers, which could be cool. It could be silly. You know, he's down on the ground, he jacks off, and then the next thing you know, he gets possessed by the soul of a tiger or something. You know. So, you know what I would never do though?
What?
I would never take away from my kids a good shirt from dtmerch.com.
Segue on these hoes. There you go.
I am not that selfish. I am not that cruel. These wonderful items that we have at dtmerch.com, these shirts, these backpacks, phone covers. Pull out, though, that Amazon account that you got. Use our Amazon Pay button, Danielle. And that username. What the hell was it?
I'm getting ready.
Oh, you getting ready for that? Oh, she getting ready because when we put that username in there, that password, and we press that button.
Get that toasty goodness.
Danielle, you sure you want to leave all this
all over my body?
All over my body. Oh, God.
Double toasted.
What you doing tonight?
What you doing tonight?
Man, I'm gonna tell y'all, I kind of fallen off with the Netflix Marvel shows. I was so excited about them. Oz, I remember when they first came on, Daredevil came in. It was a great show, and I had so much fun. I thought the Netflix Marvel shows showed so much promise. But then you had some of these other shows come in, and they maybe for an exception or two, they start to wane after a little while. And you know, everybody knows Iron Fist, how that flopped. And you know,
well, I realized that I wanted to like the Netflix shows more so than I liked them, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, and you know something? I thought I was for sure that when I had shown my displeasure for these shows, that Netflix would stop. You know, I figured they would just listen to me.
For
Just
sure.
Netflix? The world wouldn't stop? Just Netflix?
The world wouldn't stop, but I thought Netflix would. But turns out they still making them. Who would have known? And today they dropped Luke Cage. And y'all know how much I loved Luke Cage when it came out. Oops, let me correct that. I loved half of it. And now they got this new Luke Cage out there, this new, fresh Luke Cage 2.0. And I saw the trailer today, and the big question is, well, did that bring my faith back into the Netflix Marvel universe? Is Luke Cage, can he make me love his whole show this time? Well, let's go ahead and take a look at this new trailer for Luke Cage Season 2. And I'll be back to give you my impression along with everybody else's reaction.
It's not a she.
It's not a shit. No, it's not a shit. No, it's not.
Premature she.
No, it's not a shit. No, it's like a God damn it, Netflix shit brought me back in. You got me this time with it. I was trying to like sit up here and look all bougie myself with my nose up to Luke Cage. Netflix ain't gonna get me no more. I said I was done with this shit. Marvel ain't gonna get me with these Netflix shows. I'm done with it. I ain't coming back in. But I have to say, man, I cheered when I saw one more. It wasn't even for Luke Cage. They got me, Oz.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get your opinion on this in a little bit. They got me with that ass whooping that Luke Cage got, man. Because it caught me off guard. Like this brother right here just looking like he's on his way to Roscoe's Roscoe's Fried Chicken right here.
Hey, brother, which way to Roscoe's?
Yeah, he looked like on his way to Roscoe's Fried Chicken, you know. and I like it. He like, nah, you know, Roscoe's good. Wait, I'm going to whoop this motherfucker's ass right here. That came out of nowhere.
That's the chicken.
Did that catch you off guard too?
Yeah, it did. Like you said, he going to Roscoe's, he beat some black man up. That's some damn good chicken. Make you want to beat up a black man.
I like the way this brother's like, you know what, let me work up an appetite real quick by beating this Negro's ass. Fuck you. I was like, whoa. Now, seriously, if you know anything about Luke Cage, I mean, they got to have a villain in there, and they're going to find his weakness, and they're going to take him down at some point before he rises again and whoop everybody's ass. But that right there, I did not expect it. That caught me completely off guard. And
yeah, he pulled a Thanos on him. That was crazy.
He sure did, man. And you know, it really made an impression on me because Luke Cage is indestructible, bulletproof. You can't bleed. I like the way Luke Cage went home and coughed up blood. Like he coughed up a whole horn section right there. One of the things that lends their winning streak is that for the most part, now not all the time, I'm sure we can go in and find some cases where they have not done their villains well. I mean, for a long time they even said that Marvel had a villain problem. But what they have been able to do is take some of their more outlandish villains and make them something cool. I did not know who this character was, but I looked it up. It's a character called Bushmaster. And Bushmaster in the comics is actually two people, and they're both crazy. First of all, you got it's two guys. One of the guys' name is John McIver, and he looks way crazy. Like this dude looks like an Earth, Wind and Fire album cover on steroids. Tight ass suit, muscles just bulging out of it.
He looks like Powerline from the Goofy movie. That's exactly what it stand out.
He really does, man. He look like an old ass Powerline. Right
That's
there.
Exactly what it is.
How are you leaving us, Daniel?
Exactly.
But the other, that's crazy. But the other crazy half of the Bushmasters in the comic is his brother, who simply goes by Quincy. And Quincy is crazy. Quincy's a bionic snake man with blades. With blades coming out of his. Yeah, he's a bionic snake man with blades coming out of his wrist, and he uses his bionic tail to take out people. Now, being that this is Netflix, they said we damn sure cannot afford a bionic snake man.
This fool went for a checkup, and look what happened.
Yeah, look. Yeah, what kind of STD did he get? Ain't no way in hell we can't afford a bionic snake man. We can't even afford the Disco Godfather right here. So we're gonna go with the Negro in the Sears Roebuck Sunday suit right here.
He's badass though. Come on.
No, he is badass. That's the actor who's playing him. Is his name is let me see here. The actor who's playing him, his name is Mustafa Shakir, who actually looks like a combination of Chris Rock and Leslie Jones.
He really does. Really? I was
Can y'all see it? Right?
Well, he's in your face knowing he's the man. They playing some real hip hop. Ain't no joke by Rock Kieran, Eric B.
Yeah.
They playing Annie Up by MOP, a song about robbing people.
Yeah.
So I don't think they, I don't think they care too much about, walking people into this culture.
It's a lot of just realness going on with this. I mean, having a street level hero, and you can't get no more street than old Harlem. That the pre-gentrification. Right. But there's so many things with this being just so real and down to earth. First of all, with this, when you're talking about the fun factor, it makes you feel like how I would be if I was a superhero.
Right.
If I was a superhero, I would be doing exactly what I see in this trailer from the jump. I'd be going around bitch slapping villains, talking shit, taking selfies, Facebook Live-ing myself. Where you motherfuckers at? That makes me feel like how I would be. This is not your typical comic book or comic book movie type of dialogue, where Luke Cage walks in and he's like, fear me, villains, for I am the cage of Luke. He's like, no,
But then again, it's not too much like I'm a street dude either. It's not that either.
No, they're not playing that up too much. I mean, it's just people talking. I mean, even when people starting to blast on Luke Cage, they stop to have like what feels like just a real conversation between people.
Really, guys? You gotta know we tried, man.
I ain't no joke. Boy, he loves giving people the back of that hand.
Yeah, if you compare, like I said, this trailer to season 1 trailer, you see a very stark difference, even from the tone and everything. This tone, that for this trailer is very fun, whereas the original trailer for the first one was very somber and like, oh man, the river type shit.
I don't feel like saving peoples today. He's been doing that shit to the whole review, and now y'all gonna jump on me? He been Uncle Remus the whole time. Y'all gonna talk about me? But Danielle, this is where it gets interesting talking to you because you are not a fan of these. Not because you don't want to be. It's not your thing.
Well, I actually tried to sit down and watch this Luke Cage Netflix special when it first came out before, and I watched a couple episodes. But the main thing that turned me off on it was the acting. It was so bad. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was so bad. One thing I cannot sit through when it comes to shit like this is bad acting. Like, I'll shut it off immediately. So that's the thing that turned me off about this. I also think that this does have a totally different tone than the other trailer for the first season. So I think this one might do better, especially with the momentum that we have right now with all the other movies coming out. But I also wonder why they wouldn't have released the first Luke Cage after Black Panther. Like, that might sound stupid to say, but if you think about the momentum that Black Panther has and the type of audience that it is attracting, people that would have never watched superhero movies before, I feel like Luke Cage is kind of doing themselves a disservice. They should have done this after Black Panther.
Well, first of all, it's the business of Marvel to have a lot of these things planned ahead of time, and plus the movie division and the television division are kind of two different things.
No, I understand that, but still, timing is timing. You can take advantage of opportunities or not.
But what I'm saying is that you have showrunners and you have producers. Like, you have two people. And I'm not going to get into the whole detail of it. I'm not going to geek out on you about the business side of this. But you have one guy named Kevin Feige who runs the Marvel movies. You got another guy named Jeff Loeb who runs the television division. And then they got some other television divisions split off. And a lot of times these things don't even talk to each other. They don't coordinate on the same line. And with Marvel's plan to release these things ahead of time, they probably knew that Black Panther was going to be a hit. They had a good movie, but they did not know the phenomenon they would have on their hands.
How did people not know that?
I just think more so it was a case where you got to think of the time when it came out, right? We were still dealing with a lot of the police violence going on out there, a lot of black men getting killed for no reason. And I think this was put at a timely point where people were standing up for themselves, and this was kind of like a movement behind that. And I think they strategically planned it to come out around that time to kind of show an anti type of movement against what was going on in our real world as far as the police brutality and black men just getting killed for no reason. Yeah. So this black man who could not get shot by bullets made sense to come out at that time. And I think that was the justification for doing it at that time.
Yeah, it really was a social statement. And actually, we talk about the timing, it made a huge social impact.
Yes, it did.
At the time when it came out. Yeah, sort of like Black Panther. Not on that level because it's a TV show, but everybody was talking about at the time people getting shot, we got a bulletproof black man. Just that sentence alone, really had a profound. It was a profound statement for people. And plus, it's coming at a time when Black Panther's not the one to set off this whole pro-black superhero thing. There's been things that have been tried with that, and Luke Cage is actually something that kicked it off well, because because for one thing, Black Panther is very African centric and Afrocentric, and they even call it what is it, Afrofuturism?
Yes,
it's
Afrofuturism.
Yeah, it's a lot of. It's almost like recognizing your past, your heritage, taking pride in your roots. Yeah, exactly. At a time when African representation was seen as something to either fear or make fun of. The Luke Cage show came in and actually just took advantage of popular black culture and how influential it is right now. Like the hip hop that they did, I mean, it's great to see them bringing up like Ante-Up, bringing up great old school hip hop themes, not just songs but anthems. What you want? We stack filling fools. Do what you want. Your life for your chooses. And that was one of the things that really gave Luke Cage his flavor. He would beat that fucking up.
I don't think they would have played this song, in the first Luke Cage trailer. I don't think they would have. But like I said, the fact that we got we can see, like I said, Black Panther is showing everybody, black people as regular people. We can now, kind of just show all sides of it now, right? And those people get more comfortable with it, right? So now you can actually get in your face with a lot of these things.
Yeah. Black Panther. People giving Black Panther credit for, being the one that brought all this socially conscious black positiveness to the screen. But Luke Cage really was a great way to prime people for that. So the timing, the timing was good. Luke Cage was like an appetizer. One of the things that I like that they're actually talking about here is something that I've always talked about with superheroes, and that is the brutality that you're capable of. It's like, listen, again, it feels more real to me that you have all this power and you've been holding back all this time because you're a good guy. And then at some point, it's just kind of like, you get that one day where you have to go off on somebody. A villain has pushed you too far. I get tired of these movies where the villains are always getting away because the good guys are too good. It's going to be one day where you're going to confront some asshole or some murderer who just pushed you too far, and you're just going to beat the fuck out of them.
Sometimes brutality gets shit done.
Just hearing that right there makes me think like, okay, they're not going to go as far as I think they could, but at least they're discussing it's not just a physical weakness that this character have, it's also an emotional weakness. Because, he's talking about brutality, half of it because maybe I got to stop this guy by that means, but the other half is like, you know what, he can't get away with my ass like that. I can't let that happen. I got to put his pride is out there, which is also a weakness too.
Yeah, and I'll take it a step nerdier. Some of these things with these comic book places it's tough. You got to suspend your disbelief for certain times because as strong as Luke Cage is, and Spider-Man's of the world, shaking their hand, we would crush a normal person's hand.
Yeah.
So that means all the time they got to be thinking, okay, I got to be light with these people all the time. And you got to slip up at least once or twice. I want to see that story.
Yeah. I would love that.
Oops.
Yeah, they go in for a high five and your hand just shatters.
Exactly. Exactly.
You go, Luke. Shit. Some things that I'm worried about that they could do here, and this is not, I don't think, anything that's nitpicking, because there's a lot of things that they're bringing back that I like. I'm glad they brought back Alfred Woodard, man.
Yes. I'm glad that they killed off Mahershala.
Oh,
oops, sorry.
Cottonmouth. If you ain't seen it by now. But Alfred Woodard, not only did she make a nice surprise villain. We knew she was probably going to be a villain, but we didn't know to what extent and the way she would take power. I'm glad to see that. Plus, Alfred Woodard, and I never thought I would say this, Alfred Woodard, the older she get, the finer she get, man.
Mm-hmm.
Alfred
Not
Woodard.
surprised.
I know you ain't surprised by me, Daniel. I know.
No, she's beautiful.
She is beautiful. She look. What she looks like? She looks like one of your mama's friends that you wanted to fuck when you were a kid. Y'all know that. Yeah, exactly. You always had that one woman that came around that was way generations too old for you, but she was fine as fucking. She was your first fantasy.
That's all you had.
Yeah. Mama, when Miss Johnson coming over?
You've been liking old bitches since day one.
You goddamn right. They know what they're doing. Train me. But
you
Gotta
ain't.
be his own fantasy. Train me.
yeah. Take the training wheels off. But I heard that. But no, the other thing that I'm worried about, I like that they're bringing that back some people. I like that, but one of the things I don't like that's something that I was looking forward to. I can't say I don't like. I'm in a way I'm happy, and I'm skeptical about it. Now that they're starting to bring in more of the mystical aspect to these shows, I like it because it does add more to this being a comic book, and it relates more to because I've always said that these shows feel so real, Oz. Or feel so grounded that they feel sort of detached from the Marvel universe, the movie universe. And now they brought sort of this mystical side in. I think that it actually brings it closer to being a part of that world. And I like that they're doing that mainly with the villain. You saw the villain here. Where it looks like he's got some voodoo powers, which could be cool. It could be silly. He's down on the ground, he jacks off, and then the next thing you know, he gets possessed by the soul of a tiger or something. So.
I think this is the most grounded way to bring mysticism to this grounded superhero, quote unquote grounded superhero. Using the voodoo aspect to to start that whole thing. My concern about it is that I hope that it doesn't go too long, overstays welcome, because that's what these Netflix shows do. They stay too long with all their episodes. You'll get the obligatory flashback episode of how probably the Bushman got his powers when he was a kid or something. I don't want to see that, man. And it's going to go 13 episodes, and I just hope it stays concise for all 13. Don't give a bunch of throwaway ones.
For you to bring that up, see, we can even combine those fears of this show, the trepidations there, and we can say how the length and the mysticism both are something that didn't do it for me. For the Defenders, man. They were fighting the Hand, this big mystical organization. Concept-wise, that's cool. But the execution they had for that, the Hand just wasn't a good... They weren't good villains, man. There's some other things that they're doing in these Netflix shows that we let them slide, and I'm kind of getting tired of it. Let me see if I can see something here. See if it's in. Here we go. I'm kind of.
Well, it kind of goes back to what I was saying before. I wanted to like them. You know what I mean, as opposed to like them.
Well, they're badass when they do certain things, like the hallway scenes. When they go in the hallway and start biting, start fighting people and whatnot. No, that's cool, but they've done that in every show. Don't want to see that no more. And there's certain things, and I can't say anything because it'll spoil every show almost, but they do something with the villain. Every time, like you think it's one thing, and then it's another, and they've done it every show, and I think these patterns are starting to get repetitive and get old, really.
Oh, right. It's one villain they show you, and then halfway through, it's another badder villain.
Yeah, but you didn't expect this, And it's like, all right, you need to pull that shit back. You do that every time, and it's getting old.
How many seasons do you think this Luke Cage will go for?
You know what? I would be happy with this being sort of like an extended movie. If they gave me 3 episodes and got to the point, I would be satisfied with that. Think about it. This like taking Ant-Man, the movie, and making it 13 hours long. Yeah. Nobody wants to see that, Yeah. If we can do that with those villains, those heroes, then we can do it with this. They should be like either they should be Netflix movies, or they should be like three
short series,
a very short series. I think, but that's just me. Something else that I thought, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, all right, I can get with this. Misty Knight, who's probably one of the people that you thought could not act very good in the movie.
You knew the acting was pretty bad.
In some parts, yeah. Some parts it was great, in some parts it wasn't. But Misty Knight, it was the cop that was on the case looking for Luke Cage and trying to solve this mystery around Harlem and whatnot. There she is in the comic. And one of the things that people wanted her to do was get that mechanical arm, that metal arm, which they brought it. And at first I saw it in the trailer, and I was like, okay, they giving her a metal arm, so why does that shit look like a plastic toy from Walmart?
It's that power glove.
It looked like
the Nintendo power glove.
But you know what? Then I looked at it more, and I was like, I think it's kind of cool that it looks like an actual prosthetic.
Yeah.
They're adding itself to the grounded feel of these shows. It's nothing that stands out too much. And plus, again, Netflix can't afford to make a whole cool looking arm. So, let's be real. How you feel about that, though?
Yeah, no, it looks cool. I like the fact that they're actually trying to keep it comic book accurate as best as they can. And also trying to keep, like you said, grounded. So, having a prosthetic as opposed to some, gold metal arm doing stuff, it works. I'd like to see how it looks in motion more so, But I'm cool with that.
Here's a tricky question right here. I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way, but we're talking about the Black pride, positivity, social aspect, awareness, whatever, and which is cool. It's been the big selling point, the strongest point of some of these shows and movies. But now that we've seen how successful it is, not only has it been successful with something like Black Panther, but the CW has been having a successful run with Black Lightning.
It's a great show.
It's a great show, man. I haven't finished it, but I've watched most of it. It's on Netflix now itself, and I'm about to finish it. But this is another thing that came in and brought in Black awareness, and that made it that was a huge part of its success. My question is, do you feel like with all the success that this Black positivity is bringing to these shows, it feels like they kind of doubled down on it with Luke Cage here? he's going around with United Negro College Fund, hoodie on his shit. But do you think that did you have a fear that maybe they could double down on the black awareness too much to where it feels forced?
I don't know, because that actual hoodie and that whole organization, that seems to be a resurgence again, because I've seen people wearing that. So this is kind of, up to date of what's going on today.
Yeah, especially in New York, right? Isn't this all based in New York City?
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
So having that on is kind of timely right now. So I don't think they're double down. I just think it's a case where it's okay to show your style, your pride, and your culture now. And I just think it's a case where it hasn't been represented as much as it is. So now that we're seeing it more, maybe it seems like it's an overload when it really shouldn't be looked at that way. It's only because it hasn't been presented so much as it has now.
Keep in mind, I don't think it's an overload. My fear is that it's going to be forced. It's going to be forced to become somewhat of a marketing commodity instead of a natural thing. I've seen. Well, the reason why I say that is because I've seen this go through like in the '90s, where it got to a point where everybody, like I was saying, everybody was going around wearing African medallions. You start seeing that in shows and everything, and it became a thing. It became a fashion statement more than it did like a real movement. That's all I don't want. I want to be real.
Yeah, well, right now it's seemingly that it is real. I don't see it as being a gimmick because they're not using any, I guess, stereotypical aspects of it, like it would be in the 90s or something like that. They're not, like I said, everybody's being shown as a real person now. They're getting writers to actually write for regular people now. So even like we touched upon Black Lightning, they have a lot of social commentary that they have there, but it's not forced or heavy. It's in the show as it would be in regular life. And they deal with it and keep it moving. They don't keep coming back to it. They deal with it and move on. And I'm seeing more of that now with these African-American shows that are coming out, that people are touching upon social stuff and keep it moving. They're not stopping the whole show to say, hey, listen, the black man, this, that, the other, the plight. I'm not seeing that as much. So I'm hoping they keep that trend going in this Luke Cage season 2. Because right now, like I said, the show, like they're having fun.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that they, keep moving. They don't stop the show to try to, put a heavy-handed message out there.
Yeah. And something, the last thing I would say, this has been we've already covered like the length of these shows, man. Y'all got to be, y'all got to get shorter with these. But the other thing is, I'm really tired, and I've said this before, and some people disagree with me, but I'm tired of them talking about the incident, the big green guy, the American dude, the guy with the hammer. It's like they're part of the same universe. Ain't no lawsuits happen. Say what they are. It's the Hulk, Captain America. These Netflix shows really skirt around saying their names like they're a whole other studio who wants to avoid a lawsuit.
I don't know what beef Feige and Loeb got, but they need to squash that shit and just merge this shit already. I don't know what that's about.
But isn't that common in properties like this, that you can't say the other thing?
But they're both Marvel. It's just two guys it's been said, two guys just can't get their shit together and get themselves in a groove.
Nice.
But they either need to stop referencing this other movie universe or start making themselves a part of it and quit alluding.
Integrated.
And from now, the thing is, a lot of people saying, well, shit, man, shouldn't like Luke Cage or his friends be disappearing because of what happened in Infinity War? And
That's
it's like,
true.
This happens pre-Infinity War. So nobody's going to be disappearing. Half the universe is still going to be there. However, if we continue, unless we really keep trying to cram these shows before Infinity War, the Netflix show is either going to have to drop this whole thing, this gimmick of referencing the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or they're going to have to acknowledge it straight out.
Well, that's true. And I'm curious about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Are they going to have people disappearing now? Or I'm curious.
They did mention Thanos in Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. So an Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. has been more open about, they had Samuel Jackson come in as Nick Fury on the show and everything. Right. So they're cool with like referencing it a lot more broadly. But Netflix has been like, they just been kind of,
They've been some bitches.
They've been bitches about it, man. Just say it, man. Just say it. And so you have this huge thing where Infinity War happens, half the universe is gone. You can't do this thing where we can't acknowledge a huge incident that happened like that. So we'll see. Last thing, man. Rest in peace, Reg E. Cathy. A lot of people don't know that he's that character actor that everybody has seen. but nobody knows him. He died in February, man. So yeah, they got him in the show and got all his filming done, I guess, before he passed on.
I forgot all about that. Damn.
Yeah, he had that voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he died of cancer, man. Unfortunate. So hopefully Luke Cage will live up to his memory, man. But
I'll watch it. I'm gonna be there. I'm not, I'm not running towards it, but I am a little. My interest is piqued a little bit more because I don't like Jessica Jones. I don't like that. Iron Fist was terrible. Maybe the first Daredevil season 1 was okay. Punisher I didn't like at all. So I don't know.
Punisher's cool.
Not looking good for you, Ozzy.
Yeah.
It's not looking good for your boy.
Ozzy like.